Hello everyone, welcome back to Some Wild Things. I wanted to do this little video talking about the Paranormal Unknown series and the journey this far. I started this series last year in October and it's been a wild ride, especially at the end of this season, the second season. Yeah, I've honestly learned a lot and it's been pretty life-changing. And I feel like I just need to talk about some things because next year's gonna come around and I'm gonna probably do season 3 and it's gonna look a little different, I think. Yeah, anyways, I'd just like to talk about what's happened, my personal journey through this, through the paranormal side of things, Sasquatch, and what's led us here to this point, I guess. Let's get into it. So, before last year, when we started the Paranormal Unknown series and we did the first video, our first little Sasquatch expedition, that wasn't the first time dabbling into this sort of thing. I've actually lived in 2 haunted houses in my childhood, and that's impacted me a lot. We've had some really weird things happen. My parents have seen things, heard things. Our one house, we had this little girl spirit that the previous owners saw and heard. My dad's heard it. I've had toys just fall in my room. Really weird stuff. So the paranormal has always kind of been there in my life. But with Sasquatch, one point me, my dad, my brother started to dabble into Sasquatch and we got really into it, and we were pretty young at the time. This was like 2009, maybe 2008. I think it was more 2009 when we really started to get into it. A little bit into 2010 as well. But yeah, we went on a few expeditions with my dad. We had some weird things happen. We went to Echo Lake, place you might have seen on the Paranormal Unknown series. That's where me and my dad had the weirdest things happen, where we had the most activity. We heard whoops, knocks, talking sounds, crazy weird things. It was totally changed a lot. But at that time, we were researching it and more as like Gigantopithecus, right? An ape walking around the woods, an undiscovered primate. And that's kind of how I went into it when we did the Paranormal Unknown series. When we did the first episode, we're like, yeah, we're just gonna dabble into this. Here, I'm gonna pause for a second because the reason why we decided to do the Paranormal Unknown series is because we were watching a lot of ghost hunting videos at the time, which got pretty popular, especially 2022, 2023. They're still pretty big now, but I definitely think the hype has chilled out a little bit. But we were watching some YouTube channels and stuff, so I was like, let's do some ghost videos and paranormal stuff. So I got some tech, I got some of the device apps that people use that spirits are supposed to be able to use and communicate, and other devices. And yeah, we just decided to do some paranormal videos. And the first one we did was Sasquatch, of course. So going into that episode, I was already kind of like, I kind of had a feeling that they were either like a spirit of the forest or they were an ape. But we kind of approached it as the ape thing, so like knocking on rocks, knocking on log, like wood, whoops, that sort of thing, looking for evidence in the forest, which is all really important, of course, for finding Sasquatch. But at the time it was kind of, that's what I saw it as something that, it was probably like, something we didn't understand, but I didn't really know how far this rabbit hole went. I knew it was a big rabbit hole, but this was only the beginning of everything that would start to happen after that. So from there, I want to go on to the third video that we did. Not the second one, because that was just us trying to do ghost hunting. It's just kind of funny. But the third one, when me and Johnny Casket went to Kingfisher.
Go on Google Maps, look up Kingfish.
In Maple Lake area, and we went up in the logging roads up in the mountains there. I was listening to a lot of stories online. People were talking about little people in Canada and like fae and stuff like that. Hammerson Peters had a lot of videos. I was watching a lot of Hammerson Peters videos talking about these things and the mysteries in Canada and in the British Columbian Triangle. So we originally went there because, Sasquatch. We've been to the Maple Lake area before and we have heard things. So we're like, let's go to that area. When we explored it, we thought we had experience with the little people. We found that Amanita muscaria mushroom, and then we had this something moving around. We heard something moving around us, and we had, with the Necrometer app, device. We had weird words coming through. And we were doing whoops and stuff the whole time, by the way. We were whooping, calling out to Sasquatch, making knocks and stuff. So when we left that area where we had the strange stuff happen, we set up a protection around us. We were like, we set up a protection, so we should be good. And then bam, we heard a tree fall in the woods. Set up a protection around us, so we should be okay.
We should be good. We should be good.
It wasn't like, grrr, like you didn't hear it breaking through branches. It was like, bam, like a huge crash. Like a tree was dropped almost. And yeah, it startled us. And at the time we were like, oh, they're like, maybe it was the tricksters. I think it was Sasquatch the whole time. Sasquatch, we were calling, and I think that was Sasquatch, because that happens with Sasquatch. Huge trees fall down. And people just hear crashes like that, just like a tree being thrown, not a tree falling, like just bam. So at the time I wasn't sure. As this went on, like as we did more and more of these videos, I started to think more about that it was a Sasquatch all along. It was them the whole time. This whole time through the Paranormal Unknown series, it's been a Sasquatch. Because then we get to the end of the finale of the Paranormal Unknown Season 1, the night that changed our lives. That moment was literally the night that changed our lives, because again, at the time I kind of thought Sasquatch, you know, I knew they could do weird things, but I didn't really understand to the level of things that they could do. And we went to Echo Lake because, you know, Sasquatch stuff happened there. But at that time, during that video, I wasn't intentionally wanting to just find Sasquatch. I was thinking, we're gonna find, you know, Sasquatch is here, so maybe there's other paranormal things like the little people and see what happens. But we got Sasquatch, and we got those calls. And if you haven't heard those calls,
Was that a bird?
What the hell? What the f was that?
Was that a bird?
That could be a person. Wait, is it?
How come it didn't make an echo at all? It was like a very clear voice.
Yeah.
Move location, please.
location. Oh, that sounds like an elk or something. Do they want us to move out of here? Go down a path and go into the woods more. So
Indeed.
I think that's what's going to happen. All right, we'll see you. And if you know what they are, tell me, because we still don't know what they are. People are like, say all kinds of stuff on TikTok. They're like, oh, it's a deer. Oh, it's an owl. Oh, it's this. But nobody actually gives you a definitive answer, because I know what these animals sound like. I've listened to their calls. Doesn't make any sense. Owls don't growl. Owls don't sound like humans. They don't sound like elk. This sound, whatever was calling us across Echo Lake, was mimicking multiple sounds. At one point we thought it was a woman, because it was like, wah! Like, wah! With lips sound. It was coming from one spot. This was not an owl. This was not an elk. Nobody can explain this. Nobody's given me any definitive answers of what it is. I've searched all over the internet. The only time I found that same sound is through other people's YouTube channels. Other people capturing Sasquatch sounds. And people say that they mimic owl sounds. Barb Shoot from Barb and Gabby show on YouTube, she's captured the same sounds that we heard at Echo Lake, the same owl mimicry. Anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent, but I need to get this out for people who actually want to hear this, because this is actually really, this hits deep. This has been such a journey in my life, and I need to share it. But getting back on that, the night that changed our lives, hearing those sounds was crazy, absolutely crazy. And then we were having the feeling, we weren't afraid, and we were having the feeling that they were speaking to us through the device. With the responses we were getting, it was way too coincidental. It was super weird. And I think they wanted us to turn the camera off, because I've learned more and more throughout doing these paranormal, especially this season, the second Paranormal Unknown season. I've learned that they don't like cameras. And all the weird stuff would happen when the camera was off most of the time, but they don't want to be caught on camera. They don't care about audio, but cameras, no. Had the feeling that they wanted us to turn the camera off, and they wanted us to go into the woods. They were pretty much saying, we are here. You asked what was here? We're here if you want to come see. Because after we heard the sounds the first time, we went up to a logging road area, did an investigation there for a bit, and then we went back down to the lake to a path that goes down and around the lake, and we heard the calls again.
Holy shit. There it is.
I can't believe we heard the sound again, and now it's not doing it.
That sound.
I made that sound.
Oh.
It just...
And I know this might sound weird, but in my head, I felt like they were telling me we're here. Come down this path. If you want to see us, we're here. And at that point, like, I was just so filled with energy. Deanna and Johnny were getting tired. It was late. I'm pretty sure Johnny worked that day as well. I felt like they wanted me to come down the path to see them. They were like, we're here. And I didn't. And I wish I did. But I was also kind of afraid, because you go down there in the dark path and see the Sasquatch. I've never seen one before. So like, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. I felt like they wanted me to come down the path, and I feel like that's what they were telling me, like in my head. After that night, everything changed for me. Like, I understood that they're not at all what I thought they were. They're capable of things that I didn't even think were possible. I kind of knew they were possible, but like, never experienced them until that night. And ever since then, I've been like wanting to go back, and like been so excited. Went back to Echo Lake, we went back again, did a revisit. Nothing too crazy happened. We heard a few odd things, but that was the end for that year. Then the next year came. Me and Johnny Casket went back to Echo Lake in May, and this time we tried a different kind of investigation. I brought cat balls and the spirit talker, and I was still really approaching it as like a paranormal investigation, right? Because we had responses to these things, and that time we tried some different things. We had some interesting responses, some things happened, but like I felt like they were there. Like, I feel things. I'm pretty empathic, and I think like sounds so weird, but like intuition, like I don't know if that's technically the mind speak thing that people talk about, but I felt like in a way that we annoyed them. We were being too loud, too like ego, like, where are you? Make a sound, talk to us through these things, let us know. Like, we were coming there and intruding, and I felt like that was the teaching, and they, in a way, like, I didn't feel like they weren't there at all. I felt like they were like, I almost broke their trust a little bit. So after that investigation, I kind of felt a little sad in a way. Like, for a while I felt pretty bummed, because I felt like I did something wrong, and I was like, dude, should I even be doing these videos anymore? Should this be more of a personal thing and not try to make YouTube videos about it? But I thought about it for a while, and we did go back, and this time me and Johnny Casket did this is the first full episode on the Paranormal Unknown Season 2, where me and Johnny Casket went back to Echo Lake, and we did the no camera thing, and stuff happened. We did a ritual, and things happened, and I really felt like they were letting me know that they are there, they do hear. If you can talk out loud to them, you can talk to them in your head. They gave me the reassurance that I needed, that they were still there, and they didn't like shun me away. But that night that changed things too, because we heard voices come in the wind, and they responded to us just chilling and drumming. We weren't going there to try to gather evidence. We were going there to hang out, and we let them come to us. I've been listening to so many talks on A Flash of Beauty on YouTube, all the different people's stories, and this is the thing. Repetitive thing is letting them come. You don't go there and get evidence. They come, like, you don't do the investigation, they come and do the investigation in a way of you. If you just come and hang out and just do your thing, don't try to capture them on camera and set up traps and stuff. Just hang out and be respectful and talk to them, and things will happen. And like the second episode where I did the Friday the 13th overnighter, that was interesting. I don't really know what was, if they might have been in that area. I didn't get crazy evidence, so it doesn't mean that they weren't there. It was just part of the learning. I was trying new approaches of just hanging out and talking. And then the third one, when we went to Kingfisher, Expedition Kingfisher, me and Deanna, we heard the voices in the wind thing again.
Did you hear that? That sounded like talking.
It did sound like talking.
So, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, there's something so spiritual about this. And the more I've been studying, people have said that the Native Americans say that these are people. A lot of them say that these are people. And I didn't really get that in my head until after Expedition Sasquatch, Harrison Hot Springs. Because I was still trying to approach it as like a paranormal investigation. I had the devices and we were still like, I don't know. It was really strange. A lot of this has been like intuitive feelings. It's hard for me to explain, honestly. This is just me rambling here, as if you couldn't tell. But yeah, through this, I think they've been telling me to ditch the technology, the devices, the spirit talker, necrometer thing. I don't need that anymore. And I think I just need to go out and just go out and film and see what happens. But I don't need to be so pushy and trying to gather evidence to make these crazy paranormal videos, because sometimes things don't happen. Not a lot does happen sometimes. So it's like a lot of pressure put on myself, and it's like you gotta try to sensationalize things a little bit. And if nothing happens, then it's like, yeah. And these videos this year haven't got a whole lot of, they weren't the biggest videos on the channel. It didn't seem like a lot of people were really into them. So I'm thinking for the future, these paranormal unknown videos is just going to be me going out and, you know, doing videos. They're going to be similar, but I'm not going to push myself so hard. I'm going to do them throughout the video every time we go out and do Sasquatch investigations. And that's another thing. This whole time through these paranormal videos, it was the Sasquatch people that were trying to bring me in the whole time. It's like you're giving me little hints the whole way through, like the whole journey, and it's like an initiation in a way. And I've heard people say that they used to like do investigations going looking for an ape, and then they changed to looking for people, and everything changed. So I think that is what we're gonna do. We're not looking for paranormal ghosts. We're not looking for some ape. We're going to go out in the woods and look for people, and we're going to talk to them and be respectful and leave gifts. Yeah, I just feel like this is an initiation process. And yeah, I think it's really cool. In Expedition Sasquatch, I saw my first orb light in the woods that people talk about with Sasquatch encounters. People see orbs and lights in the woods. And full on, that's what it was. I caught it on camera. And when I saw that it was greenish white on camera, it blew my mind. It's literally, yeah, we literally saw, it was my first orb I've ever seen. Light orb in the woods. So they were there, and I just felt like I had to turn on this camera and talk about these things. So if you did appreciate this, please let me know. Leave a comment down below and give the video a like, because I would love to know your thoughts. And if you're excited to see more videos in the future, because I think it's just going to change a little bit, but it's going to be good, because this is initiation is something really special. And I don't care if you believe in this stuff or not. This is my experience, and I obsess and I study like crazy. I've listened to so many people's stories. Thousands of people can't be lying. You know what I mean? Some people could lie. Why would you lie about these stories? These are ridiculous. Watch A Flash of Beauty, paranormal Bigfoot documentary. Watch their videos. You're not alone if you've had Sasquatch experiences. Let me know down in the comments. If you've had Sasquatch experiences, I'd love to hear your stories. That'd be really cool, because I think as a community we need that, because it makes us feel less crazy. So anyways, I think that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about. Yeah, I just think going forward, no more spirit talker, no more devices. I will bring my camera and we'll just look for a tribe of people, and be respectful, tell them I'm not here to get them on camera, and yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. But this has been a journey, so if you haven't seen all the paranormal videos, definitely check them out. Either way, thank you so much for watching this video and letting me rant to you. It's been a lot. It's been a journey. So I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.